It's Wednesday, you know what that means. Hello again, I'm Nathan. Welcome back to Whiskey Wednesday on Wasn't My Fault. So, this week it's another American bourbon. This time it's Maker's Mark, which is really nice. Bit on the top made of wax. Hopefully it's not going to be too much of a pain to open. You know the trouble I had with the wax before. Oh, sticky as well. Ew. That came off quite nicely. I do like the look of this bottle, I must admit. I know some American friends really like this. Normal 25 centilitre, as always. Okay. Other one to the side. So before, I've had bourbons before. Obviously, last time I did try bullet bourbon. Definitely different. There's more cherry notes in this one. Now, interestingly, most bourbons have got corn, rye, and barley. This doesn't have the rye. This has wheat instead of rye, so it's a little bit different. So it should be a little bit sweeter, I believe. That's quite interesting. It's definitely cherry and kind of brown sugary, which you kind of expect from a lot of bourbons, but that's quite interesting. Completely different. It's not a strong alcohol smelling as the bullet, I don't think. Which is weird because this is a 45%. I think the bullet was a 40. You can tell the alcohol's there. You can kind of get the whiff of it, like when you bring your nose closer, you kind of get that alcoholness of it, but it's not overpowering. It's not like it with the alcohol on it. It's for the strength. It's not bad. A little bit of fruit, maybe. So darker fruits, yeah, dark cherries, that type of thing. Maybe a little, tiny little bit of apple, but not a lot. It's mainly the cherry that comes through and like the brown sugar type of thing. So what does it taste like? Lots of cherry. Ooh. Okay, I like that. A slight alcohol burn at the finish and kind of a woodness to it. Oak, I suspect. Difficult because I don't go around licking trees, so seeing which it tastes like is one of those odd things. But that's what it seems like, kind of oakiness sort of finish to it, kind of a dryness. But a kind of sweet on it, and it's still kind of lingering. Yeah, kind of dried, like, how to explain? It's definitely a kind of dry finish to it. Definitely a lot of fruit. Yeah, very cherry, slight vanilla, and then it's like all wood. Yeah, and it's kind of like a wood kind of burniness to it. Kind of wood spice, I guess, is the best way to describe that. And they just kind of like the kind of wood lingers with it. Interesting. Right, I'll get the one set up so they have time to mix a little bit. You may have noticed I have an extra glass there. I'll explain that in a minute. So, as usual, on the rocks with Coke. I'm going for a lot of shots in one episode these days. Coffee, and I'm going to put one in the last glass here and explain that in a minute. Alright. Put it all in. Okay. While those sit, I will stir them as well. Look how much I've gone through. Oh, right, a little bit of water. I won't mix too much because I possibly have been, as I think I said last time. So it just helps to separate out the oils and so on. Just cherry. I'm not getting a lot else. A little bit of sweetness, but it's I don't know, it's really strong cherry to me, which I do like. I'm a big fan of cherry. I'll put that back up there. Ooh, that's a lot more spice. I can taste the alcohol a lot more. Still the wood at the end, it's a little bit stronger wood as well, but the alcohol kind of takes over more on the taste. There's not as much of the kind of cherry and sweetness, it's more wood, spice and that sort of thing. That's quite interesting that it does change it up that much. Right, stir that. Stir the coffee, give it its best chance. I'll leave that at one for a minute. Okay, so on to this. Slight woody notes. Obviously the shape of the glass, I'm not going to get as much out as I will with that, but that's why I use this kind of glass, so it is shaped a little bit. The cherry's almost gone. There's not a lot, there's a very little bit of kind of more dark cherry than sort of sweet cherry. I'm saying it's dark fruit, so it's not like the sort of cocktail cherry, that sort of thing. It's more of a kind of dark, rich cherry. That's a lot spicier. That brings out the alcohol flavours and the wood flavours more, definitely. It makes it taste a lot stronger, considering it's 45%, and that doesn't taste like it. That does. Should hold up well to the Coke. Brings out a little bit of the cherry in it, a little bit of the woodiness. It actually holds up well. Still, you get the kind of small hint of alcohol, not a huge amount, because there's not much in it. But, you know, it's what you get, I suppose, in a bar. But, it's not bad. I do quite like that for the strength, because, you know me, I like strong flavours. Something that I definitely enjoy is the stronger flavours. That's interesting. It doesn't just smell of coffee. Brings the woodiness. A little bit of sweetness, a kind of hint of the kind of cherry, but not really that, just kind of fruit notes to it. I quite like that. I think the bourbons, a lot of them tend to hold up quite well to being used as mixers, because I guess a lot of them are designed in that way. Like Jack Daniels is really good with Coke, which most people know it for. But yeah, that's interesting. I'm going to go back down the line. Yeah, so it's slight cherry, slight wood, not too overpowering alcohol flavour in it though, so it doesn't taste that much like alcohol. Yeah, that's stripped out most of the flavour. That is just generic whiskey, I suppose, rather than a bourbon. Just a whiskey alcohol flavour. And that's just mellowed out completely. Now it's our chance to kind of all meld together. It's just all kind of hints of the flavours rather than the actual kind of notes I was getting before. Still quite nice, it's enjoyable, watered down a little bit. Interesting. So now, this one. I have to get some ice, because basically what this is an old fashioned. So I thought, what's the other way people drink? They have mixer, coffee, with ice, or a little bit of water, neat. An old fashioned. So basically in here, I put some simple syrup, so just sugar syrup. I can't be bothered muddling like sugar and everything else. A couple of drops of bitters, and obviously I've got a shot of Maker's Mark. I'm just going to go and get the ice and some orange peel. Be right back. Okay, so here we go. I've put some ice. If you want it to be a long lasting drink, is the thing about an old fashioned. Now what you are supposed to do is try and get some of the oils out of that. Wow, I can actually see the oil spraying out of that, and then rub it along the glass and pop it inside where you can. Bit of a mix. Very, very citrusy and orangey, obviously, because I just put orange peel in it. That's nice. It's obviously the bitters and so on is kind of citrusy and orangey, and the syrup makes it sweet. But this does add that little bit of cherry. Sometimes in an old fashioned you want to put a cherry in it. A lot of people do. That gives hints of cherry. I really like that. I tried it last night to make sure I could make it, and it tasted okay with a bullet bourbon. It was nice. It was more sort of classic bourbon flavours. It tasted more like whiskey. This tastes more like a cocktail than a whiskey. There is. Now it's had time to mix a little bit more. There's the whiskey and the alcohol notes to it, but there's a lot more cherry, obviously. As I said, it tastes a lot of cherry in it. That's interesting. What I didn't do. What do other people say? Okay, so on the nose, fruity and rich. The lovely notes of spiced honey, mixed peels, a little hazelnut, and a touch of cut fruit with toasty oak providing a backbone. Yeah, so okay. Mission 4, the notes of rye and spice. No, they can't be because there's no rye in it. Barley malt, little nut oil with butterscotch vanilla. Quite sweet butterscotch and dry oak spice. They're wrong, I think, because they keep talking about rye and there's no rye in it. It's wheat instead. Anyway, so I'm going to go off and enjoy my old fashioned, and my Coke, and my ice, and I need a little bit of water, and my coffee. Is that too many drinks? Don't know. Tell me what you think. Anyway, thanks a lot for stopping by. Come back and see me again soon. I'll be doing another one obviously next Wednesday. Maybe something a little bit more oriental. Come and find out. Bye for now.